Hello, Crucible Clutter, and welcome to another KeyForge video. We're going to be opening our 8th deck from this Winds of Exchange display today. Lots of news in the scene. Worlds just happened. KeyForge Celebration just happened. I wish I could have made it. I sadly missed it. But everything that I'm seeing is so exciting. So I 100% plan on being there next year. So you will see me there next year, 100%. Congrats to the winners. That's so cool to be the first ever World Championship winners for KeyForge. And there's so many other like pieces of content that have come out, different streams and stuff. It seems like June was hosting these things called Keymander, which is like KeyForge, but in a commander format, similar to that of Magic the Gathering. So if you haven't looked into that, please do. They have a Discord that I'm in. It is super cool, and I can't wait to actually jam some games of that. But without further ado, let's dig into this deck. I can't wait to make it to more events next year. I'm going to set aside a lot of time, and I will definitely be at Worlds at the very least. Let's get this covered up. Okay, so we've got the token creature of... Ooh, we've got a Blorb deck. Okay, Purple Archon. So the first one is Mars. Then we've got Brobnar. Sanctum, okay, not bad, very interesting. Sanctum is often a good fit for Blorb, and Brobnar is very good this set. Mystzer, the Mortician of the Province. That is such a cool name. Focus up on that Archon there. It looks kind of like it has a bowl or chalice-shaped head, a lot of like miscellaneous kind of iconography or glyphs surrounding it. It reminds me a lot of that one Pokemon I can't remember the name of, but very cool. Okay, well, give me just one moment and we will dig into these card reveals. We are back now with the card reveal. We're going to go ahead and set our token. No, oh goodness, the deck list, sorry. Off to the side, here's the token. The Blorb. It is a 1-power creature with elusive, and it cannot reap. And destroyed, return Blorb Hive from your discard pile to your hand. Blorb Hive, of course, is a key cheat. If you haven't seen it before, get excited. It's very rare, very special, and we're gonna see it today. Starting in Sanctum here, we have got Grey Rider, 2-power creature with a deploy. Play after fight after reap. You may ready and fight with a neighboring creature. Very good. Love to see this, especially if we can get a Martyr of the Vault. This is a great way to deal with Martyr of the Vault if you don't have anything else, like Knight of Pulp. Alrighty, then we've got some token creation here with the action request donations. Play, make a token creature, and it captures 2 amber. Then we've got Muster, some more token generation. It's an action that says play, make a token creature. If your opponent has more amber than you, archive Muster. Ooh, and then Membership Drive. Okay, fantastic. Play, make a token creature. Gain 1 amber for each friendly token creature. Very good with Blorb, just because we want to make a bunch of them anyways. This combos super well into that. And then Grand Melee, some good creature control, especially when we'll be spamming out tokens. It's an action that says play, destroy each creature that does not share house with at least one of its neighbors. Shoulder Armor, it's an upgrade with an Amber Pip on it. I might not have mentioned any... Oh, there were no Amber Pips already. And it says, while this creature is on a flank, it gets +2 armor and +2 power. Oh, 2 of those can make somebody extra beefy. And then we did get a Martyr of the Vault. That's awesome. Creature 4 power, 1 armor. Destroyed. If your opponent has 7 amber or more, they lose all but 5. Excellent exponential amber control. Don't get to see that a lot. Ooh, and then the Lightbringer Outpost. It's an artifact with an amber pip. Action, put a friendly creature on the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, a friendly creature captures 3 amber. Grey Abyss to help keep our Blorbs alive. 3 power, 1 armor. Play, make a token creature. Each friendly token creature gets +1 armor. Very cool. Sariel the Steadfast. This is a rare creature, enhanced with a draw pip. It's 5 power, 2 armor. Don't know if I already said that. While it is not your turn, your creatures cannot become exhausted. Its flavor text here is funny. An army marches on its stomachs. Literally, in my case, from the ravings of Prophet Gizelhart. Gizelhart being the leader from Mass Mutations. And then, of course, Sariel the Steadfast is a meme in and of itself because it's referencing the Salt Bay meme from forever ago. Very funny. Oh, wow. Okay. And we have a legacy from Mass Mutations here, Burning Glare. It's enhanced with not enhanced, it comes with an Amber Pip. It's an action. Enhances a damage into the deck, and it says play. Choose one. Stun an enemy creature or stun each enemy mutant creature. Very cool. Don't get a lot of stun in this set. It's an interesting legacy. I think our last deck had a legacy Helmsman Spears. Very legacy heavy, these last two decks, or I guess this display. So we're going to Mars now. We've got the creature Tixel Beam Buckler, 4 power, 1 armor, play. Deal 2 damage to a creature and move it to either flank of its controller's battle line. Then we've got the artifact MK2 Generator. It enters play ready, and it says action, make a token creature. Good, we want to see a lot of token making in this house. If we could get some Nyan Outposts, that would be awesome, just because we want to make as many Blorbs on one turn as possible. Ironix Vatminder, 3 power, 1 armor creature that says play/destroyed, make a token creature. Ironix Propaganda, an upgrade with an Amber Pip, and it says this creature gains after fight after reap, make a token creature. Glixel Weaponsmith, 4 power, 1 armor, enhances 2 damage and a draw pip into the deck. Genetic Blast, it's an action with an Amber Pip. It says play, deal 2 damage to a creature and each other creature with the same name as that creature. Ooh, Ammonia Clouds. This is kind of dangerous since our token is so weak, but it could definitely come in handy, especially after an opponent board wipe. It's an action that says play, deal 3 damage to each creature. Oh, wow. And then we've got Psychic Network. Play, steal 1 amber for each friendly ready Mars creature. This is weirdly good with Sariel Steadfast. If we can make a bunch of Blorbs on our turn with all of the token making in Sanctum, play Sariel Steadfast, and if they have Unfathomable or we're going against a Dark Tidings deck, they can't exhaust them. And then next turn I get to Psychic Network. That'd be very cool. And then we've got Ironix Banner here. It's enhanced with a damage. It's an artifact that says play, make a token creature. Each friendly Ironix creature gets +1 power and +1 armor. Don't think we have very many Ironix creatures in here. Ooh, very important card. Destroy them all. It's an action that says play, destroy an artifact, a creature, and an upgrade. Good to have artifact control. And then Airlock for some efficiency. An artifact that says action, discard a non-Mars card from your hand. If you do, draw a card. Very cool. And then the Blorb Hive itself. It's an artifact that says Omni, destroy a friendly creature. If you do, make 2 Blorbs. Then if you control 10 or more Blorbs, destroy Blorb Hive and forge a key at no cost. Fantastic. That would be the point of the deck. It is what forced Blorb to be our token creature. It is repeatable, because if you can kill a Blorb on the same turn that you use Blorb Hive to forge a key, you can get Blorb Hive from your discard pile back to your hand, and then you can play it back out. You just have to be very mindful of what your opponent has, because if they have any of the Purge artifact control, something like Reclaim by Nature, Auction Off, then you want to make sure to hold on to this until you see those things, or you're confident that you'll be able to destroy it yourself, maybe with a Destroy Them All or something like that. Very, very cool. And we're here now in Brobnar, starting with the action Stratosmack. Play, deal 3 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, make a token. Very good. Shock Herder, 3 power creature with a deploy. It was enhanced with a damage, and it says play, ready and fight with a neighboring creature. Good. Rowdy Scald, 4 power creature that enhances an amber and 2 damage into the deck. Ooh, and then Press Gang. Play, make a token creature. If an enemy creature was destroyed this turn, archive Press Gang. Pound. It's an action with an Amber Pip. Play, deal 2 damage to a creature with 1 splash. Ooh, and then Pelf, enhanced with a damage. 3 power creature with Skirmish. After fight, your opponent loses 1. Very good with Shock Herder and with Might Club. Might Club is an artifact with a damage pip, enhanced, and it says action, ready and enrage a creature. Ooh, and then Fresh Marks. It's got an Amber Pip. It's an action. It says play, destroy a friendly creature. If you do, exalt 3 enemy creatures. And Bumpsy, very good Amber control going on in Brobnar, it seems. 5 power creature with 1 damage pip. Play, your opponent loses 1 Amber. Berserker Slam, an action with an Amber Pip. Play, deal 4 damage to a flank creature. If this damage destroys that creature, its controller loses 1 Amber. Ooh, and then Unguarded Camp. It's an action enhanced with an Amber Pip that came with one. It says play, for each creature you control in excess of your opponent, a friendly creature captures 1 Amber. Each creature can not capture more than 1 Amber this way. Oh, and then a great way to deal with the board. 7 power creature here, Crim Torchtooth. It's got splash attack 4, and it says after fight, enrage each of Crim Torchtooth's neighbors. It's our last card. Very cool, very interesting. It's got a healthy mix of making token creatures. There's a lot of that in there, but it also has ulterior game plans. It seems like there's an okay amount of Amber control. We've got an artifact control card, and then we've got a decent amount of creature control, at least especially from Brobnar. Give me 1 second. I will divide everything up, and then we will do a breakdown for this bad boy. Back now with the deck breakdown. So we've got, again, all the usual piles. There's our token, Amber control, expected Amber, artifact control, creature control, and then just token making cards. There is our SAS, 71, that's not bad. I feel like we haven't been high rolling our SAS this display, so this has been pretty nice. The only thing that brought it down was a little bit of anti-synergy, which makes sense. It was basically just from Grand Melee and Ammonia Clouds, just because we have a small creature count, which again, I feel weird about Grand Melee just in this set, because with tokens, it's gonna matter less, especially if we're playing against someone who isn't playing WoE. I can also, knowing that Grand Melee is one of my very few like board controls, just play around that and try and slap, you know, like creatures together. Especially since there's a lot of deploy sitting in my Sanctum, I think. Maybe it was just Grey Rider. But even then, there's just not a lot of creatures in Sanctum, so I don't think it will matter too bad. Ammonia Clouds does stink. It hurts a lot of my creatures, and there isn't really a way around that. But, of our houses, Mars was our highest SAS. Makes sense, Psychic Network and Destroy Them All are pretty crazy. It's at 28 SAS. Sanctum is at 23, mostly because of Membership, Drive, and Martyr of the Vault. And then Brobnar at 21, which is interesting. Brobnar is really good this set, so I just think that it wasn't rocking some of the like best cards of Brobnar, so it doesn't have an insanely high SAS, but 21 is nothing to scoff at. The deck is in the top 25% of decks according to SAS. But we'll get that score out of there. Not to get that score out of there, our extras and counts is next. So here's our extras and counts. Am I doing that? Yeah. Extras and counts. 11 bonus Amber, which is low. I like to see more, but our deck has made up for that because our expected Amber is a bit higher than 11. Actions, we have 15, which is about 2 above average. Creatures is 12, which is below average. We've got about 6 artifacts, which is a lot. Again, I think Winds of Exchange, and possibly even what I'm seeing from Grim Reminders, is going to bring up the average artifacts in a deck a lot. Then we have 3 upgrades, 1 board wipe with Ammonia Clouds, and then 1 scaling Amber control from Martyr of the Vault. And our token generating score is 17. So with 1 pass through our deck, we can create about 17 tokens. Hopefully more than that. If we have to play our whole deck to get the Blorb Hive effect to really kind of go off, that'll be a problem, especially since your opponent's not going to want you to get free keys. Now we're going to clear that off the board. And here is our Amber and Control. 10 Amber Control. Not very high, but it's not too bad. It's not all capture, which is what I've gotten used to. We do have some capture mixed in there, but we've got Martyr of the Vault, which is some really good expected Amber control, Psychic Network for stealing, Bumpsy Health, and Berserker Slam for losing Amber. But then we do have Unguarded Camp, Lightbringer Outpost, and Request Donations for capture. The expected amber is 20, which is awesome. That is over 3 keys, so one pass through the deck could win us the game. Artifact control is just the destroy them all, and then creature control is 14, which is okay. Would like to see it higher, but there just isn't a whole lot going on with it. Crim Torchtooth being probably our biggest creature control. But let's dig into the physical cards here. Starting with our amber control, Berserker Slam is our lowest. Berserker Slam can always go in creature control as well. 4 damage is nothing to scoff at, but I feel like every time I see this card, because amber is how you win or lose the game, all I can think about is how to get my opponent to lose 1 amber. So it's good for getting rid of pesky creatures, but most of the time, think about that amber control. Pelf, that fight, after fight your opponent loses 1 is fantastic. 3 damage is pretty good too. I think Pelf is extra good in decks like this one that have ways to ready him as soon as he hits the board, like Shock Herder or Might Club. Unguarded Camp is some great capturing. We don't have a lot of creatures in the deck, which can stink, specifically for this effect. But because it's a Blorb deck, we're trying to make tons of creatures. So ideally, we can, spam out Blorbs and then get them all to capture with the excess that we're making. Blorbs are also really cool because Blorb Hive mechanically doesn't require your Blorbs to be destroyed. It's just once you have 10, Blorb Hive destroys itself, and then you can bring it back by killing a Blorb. So there isn't like an inherent, oh, here's all the amber I've been capturing, going back to the opponents. You actually want the Blorbs alive. They're hard to kill. They're great targets for capturing. Speaking of which, Lightbringer Outpost, capture 3. It is like a weird, semi-recursive version of the, oh, why can't I think of the name of it right now? Broken Lash. Is that right? Yes. The artifact that increases key cost by 3. This just holds on to that amber. So I guess it's stackable if you can hold on to it. But the just intervals of 3 is kind of what I'm getting at there. Request donations, again, great. We want Blorbs on the board. They're great targets for holding amber, so holding on to 2 is good. Bumps you with that lose 1. And then we have Psychic Network here. Steal for each friendly ready Mars creature. With a Mars token, this is just such a good card. And then Martyr of the Vault, which we have, let's see, I think it's just Grey Rider is the only way in Sanctum to get it to kill on the turn it drops. Yeah, looks like it. Or Grand Melee, actually, if I can make sure to play it next to like a Mars creature and then play that. So there are 2 ways to kill it, which is really, really good. That's kind of what you want out of a Martyr of the Vault, is the ability to make them a martyr fast. We are on to our expected amber. Blorb Hive is actually at the bottom of our expected amber here. I was trying to think, I don't know what exactly leads to the expected amber bonus. My guess is just that by virtue of it forging a key at no cost, you could count that as expected amber if you're able to get the combo to go off. And because it's so hard and unlikely that that combo does happen, it's low rated expected amber. I'm not sure if by virtue of destroying a creature, a friendly creature, and making 2 Blorbs, there's some sort of amber gain there. Unless you have like a Dust Imp or something. So my guess is just the free key lending to that stat. Then Rowdy Scald because it enhances an amber into the deck. Fresh Marks for Exalting 3 enemies. Amazing with Crim Torchtooth. Super happy to see this card, especially if we just did our Blorb Hive on the last turn. This is a great way to kill a Blorb, return the Blorb Hive to our hand, and then get some added value. And then of course our Membership Drive, which should, especially with Blorb Hive being Omni, always give us at least 3 amber. And because we have so much token making in Sanctum, we will be able to take advantage of Membership Drive. Very, very good. Then our artifact control is very easy. We have got Destroy Them All. We'll have to be careful because we have a lot of upgrades, but some of those upgrades have amber pips on them. So as long as it is a house we are comfortable with diving back into later, we might just have to destroy our own upgrades and look for the pipped out ones. But an artifact, a creature, and an upgrade is really, really good removal. Then our creature control itself, Shock Herder, readying and fighting. Genetic Blast, again, great for tokens. It'll be interesting to see if this gets reprinted in Grim Reminders. I feel like it's such a Winds of Exchange specific card that you probably won't see it again. I can think of scenarios in which they reprint it, but I don't know that it's going to be nearly as good in other sets. Glixel Weaponsmith with the 2 damage enhanced. Grey Rider, again, a great way to get Martyr of the Vault killed if there is a very big enemy creature, but also a great way to take advantage of some extra reaping if the board is empty. Very good all around monk. Our Legacy, Burning Glare here, some stunning, and if our opponent happens to be playing Mass Mutations or have a couple mutants, we can get some more stun from that. Pound for some direct damage, can help set up for Berserker Slam or Strato Smack. Speaking of which, Strato Smack, 3 direct damage, make a token. Tixel Beam Buckler, some more direct damage, but also some flank movement. This could help us set up for a Grand Melee. It could also, again, set up for that Berserker Slam on a later turn. We take like a 5-power creature, move it to a flank, do 2 damage, then it's in perfect Berserker Slam range. It could also mess up the taunt of an enemy creature, of an opponent's board. Couldn't get that word out. Might Club the Ready and Fight. And our Grand Melee. And then Ammonia Cloud. Oh, and then I kept expecting those last couple, each one of them to be the last card. I don't know why. Ammonia Clouds, works against us a lot. Grand Melee is good. I think we have a great way to set it up. I think in the SAS system and in general, Grand Melee gets a little bit too much smack talked about it. I think you can play around it in a really smart way that isn't too hard to work out. And then Crim Torchtooth, just one of the best fighting Brobnar creatures. 7 power with Force Splash is so good, and the cost of enraging its neighbors is so small, especially when you can kind of place around your board, and at least the first couple fights hopefully get that to land on like other Brobnar creatures like Bumpsy, Shock Herder, Pelf that you kind of want to fight off. Set those aside. And then we're just looking at our token making here. So there's Muster. This one's really hard to get off just because you have to play it from behind on Amber, but it's easier to get off than like Star Alliance's Teamwork. Grey Abyss is great, 1 guaranteed token making. Hopefully you can recur it if it does get destroyed, but it is very, very cool. Then we've got Press Gang, some recursion, and our Brobnar is some of our biggest creature control, so I think Press Gang will be able to archive itself often, which is good because I don't think there's a whole lot of other archiving in the deck, so it'll be pretty easy to ensure a Press Gang every time I call Brobnar. Then we've got the upgrade Ironix Propaganda for the afterfight after we make a token, the Ironix Banner, which makes a token on play, Ironix Vatminder making a token on play and destroyed, and then the MK2 generator guaranteeing us at least 3 Blorbs every Mars turn. We'll just have to be careful. One thing about Blorb decks that I've noticed is that it's very easy to get caught up in the Blorb mechanic and making the Blorbs, but a lot of the bonuses of Blorb decks come from the fact that you're just generating a lot of Mars creatures, especially if you have stuff like the Psychic Network that I have, or a Hypnotic Command. Things that just deal with large Mars numbers are really, really good. Or a, what's it called? Something Recall. I'll put it on the screen. But I think a lot of the time you have to focus on that, or you have to focus on what your key pieces are outside of the Blorb to make sure whether or not now is the time you go heavy on creating Blorbs, or if you just want to hold back and, wait just a little bit to see those powerful, important cards, get them in your hand or get them visualized, see where they are in the deck, and then just pump out a bunch of Blorbs. I think the key to Blorb decks, which is going to make it hard for any Archon or Alliance, is having the ability to wear down your opponent's creature control. If your opponent is working with an insane amount of creature control in their deck, and they always have an answer to Blorb, then you'll get stuck in a situation where you're never able to create that board state, and you're not able to do the thing that your deck wants to do. So if you can find a Blorb hive that, in the right scenario with the right cards, is able to make all 10 of the Blorbs on one turn, that is perfect. You know, that's ultimately what you're looking for. But if not, it's important to play around all those other key pieces and hopefully try and whittle down your opponent's creature control by making these kind of showy plays that aren't actually you throwing away your future opportunities. It's an interesting kind of mind game strategy that you have to play with these decks. I would love for somebody to win like an Archon tournament or an Alliance tournament with Blorb one day, just because the nature of that key cheat is so interesting. Alrighty, then what else are we looking at? That's right, let's clear that away. And there is our speed and board. We actually have positive efficiency, which is awesome, thanks mostly to airlock, allowing us to discard and draw, discard a non-Mars card and then draw a card on our Mars turn. That's one of those things that I'm talking about where it's like, oh, you know, I can discard a Sanctum or Bromnar card I don't need and hopefully draw into that Psychic Network, which is going to be really important to either hold on to at the moment or play that very turn. And then we've got recursion just through Blorb Hive recurring itself and Lightbringer Outpost putting a card on the bottom of the deck. No disruption. Our board is okay. It's of decent size. It got taken down a lot by Fresh Marks, Moon Clouds, Grand Melee, and Lightbringer Outpost, all kind of pulling creatures away from our board. But we've got like Crim Torchtooth, Double Shoulder Armor, Sariel Steadfast helping to pump it up. And we've got a decent amount of creature protection thanks to Grey Abyss, Ironix Banner, Double Shoulder Armor, and Sariel Steadfast. How many Ironix creatures did we end up with? I don't think it was very many. It was Vatminder. And that's it. So it's our Vatminder gets the bonus from our Ironix Banner, which ironically is one of the very few Ironix creatures you kind of don't want to have more health and armor because you want it to die. And then in our other disruption, you're looking at Blorb Hive. I assume just because of free key or the fact that it destroys one of your creatures but then replaces it with 2 tokens. It's probably the latter. But thank you guys for watching. That was our 8th deck. We have got 4 more to go. I'm going to end up actually running out of decks before the Grim Reminders hits because they were expecting to hopefully get those in hands of people by sometime in March, early or late March. And I think I will run out either the month or 2 before that. So when that happens, I'll probably switch over, try and do some deck reviews. There might be a little bit less posting as I try and figure out some newer ideas, things that I want to present to you before I dive deep into the kind of content creation of showing you everything that I get with that shipment in March. But I'm super pumped. Everything I'm seeing from Worlds has got me so excited. Menagerie is a lot better than everybody was expecting it to be. This next set is almost certainly going to be my favorite set. I have a new favorite creature other than Keyfrog, and it is Mamet. Just a little robot guy trying to make friends. Absolutely love him. So there's a lot to be excited about in the KeyForge community, and it just keeps going and keeps going. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and remember, the most important part of KeyForge is the person sitting across the table. Have a good one!